Hey, everybody, it's the Monday Review. We got a hat trick of sending offs this weekend, Easter weekend, and Kevin Paredes is back. And Utrecht got a big victory over Ajax with the younger Aronson scoring. Vince, Waukee, how goes it?
I'm gonna just hop in real quick. You didn't direct it to anybody, Adam Bells, but I got this question: Is Easter washed?
No, no.
Is Easter
No,
washed?
it's not washed.
Okay.
Had to be
Absolutely
asked,
not.
though. I'll tell you what, I didn't get a call or text from anyone in my family.
Bro, you know what I'm saying? It just seemed like another day to me, man. If I wouldn't have called my grandmas and my mom and told everybody Happy Easter, I just would have thought it was another Sunday. Now I'm living a very secular life over here. I was actually telling Kristen about this. Easter was one of my favorite days of the year growing up, just because, everybody as absolutely fly as you could ever want to be. Like you see people's like ideal image of themselves, maybe. I think on Easter. Church, everybody's pulling up, Easter color suits, blues. You got your yellows, your purples,
Not
etc.
in the church. Not in the church that I grew up in.
Oh man, that's a shame. And with that type of carrying on, putting on, you know what I'm saying? You just get everyone's just acting different on Easter, and just to be able to observe everybody and see how it went from there, man. It was always just a great time growing up. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's washed now. Maybe I just need to get back to church and see my grandma in one of them huge hats again. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's not washed. It's not washed at my church. They do one service over at the local elementary school because they can't fit everybody in from the two services on a usual Sunday, and it was pretty banging, I would say.
Everyone's antisocial now. You know how they do trunk or treat.
Mm-hmm.
They do trunk or treat at Halloween.
Instead of trick or treating.
Yeah. Instead of trick or treating, like there's no Easter egg hunts to take the kids to anymore. Not as much as there used to be. I don't know.
I haven't had a child knock on my door for Halloween during my adult life.
Craziness.
15 years.
Man. Yeah.
I get candy every year. And then I end up eating a bag of candy.
I think we were talking off air about how cooked Western civilization is.
Listener, before every episode, that's pretty much what we do.
And I think it's in a certain way we're going back to like the ancient times. Going from a literate to an oral culture, we're going from feeling like we understand everything to feeling like everything is confusing.
Yeah.
And
Adam is the one who brings it up every time, and it does it bring down the mood a little bit? Sure. Sure, but you've got to hear your host out. You gotta talk these things through with them.
Thanks, guys. Anyway, Kevin Paredes is back, right?
That's right. He is risen.
He joined the bench for 3 matches after coming back from a foot injury and didn't play, but then came back, started versus Mainz in a 2-2 draw, got an assist on a Maxi Arnold Bombazzo, also generated 4 shots from open play, so very perky, bright, as you might imagine. Got some flops in, got some real nice flops in, 2 good flops, rolling on the ground, multiple rolls. Good to see him back.
He's our only guy who does that.
Really,
you forget how much you missed it until you get to see him do it again.
Yeah, it just gets a little an innocent clip on the outside of the foot. Oh, he's down. He's rolling 10 yards.
But the thing that allows it, that the reason why he's really good at it is because he'll show off some strength beforehand. He'll be like holding up the ball, holding it for a little bit, and then once he does get fouled, it's like, oh, well, this strong young man, if he got sent to the ground like that, he must have been fouled. And so that's the yin and yang there. Whereas Brendan Aronson, he just throws himself to the ground without showing off the strength first. I'm
Paredes
sorry to bring up Brendan.
hasn't always.
It's just muscle memory. It's just muscle memory at this point. What'd you say, Chris?
Paredes hasn't always read as strong.
No.
And honestly, except for the improvement, I would not necessarily have called him out as being one of our stronger guys. But it's been moving in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. I think it was maybe like a MLS to Bundesliga thing. Once he started getting on Bundesliga fields, he was like, I need to get in that dang weight room. And he's been sidelined long time, multiple times at this point. And what else can you do when your ankle's messed up or whatever? Get that core work in, buddy. With maybe him and Jay Brooks showed him the way when he got the Wolfsburg initially. I don't know. But I do want to ask y'all with regards to Kevin Paredes. I've been thinking about this for a while now. Is the Olympics worth having a lost season? I'll let y'all discuss.
No.
Yeah, I think no as well.
Honestly, it wasn't that much of a discussion question.
Well, I mean, what kind of makes it a discussion question is he was really good in the Olympics. Like he was maybe the bright spot of the team in that tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So that was nice to see. It wasn't enough though, was it, for us to be actually good in that tournament?
No, unfortunately not. But it does make you wonder. Because man left the Olympics and we haven't seen him till about right now.
You know what I'd like to ask a player, maybe Kevin himself, about is like, what are the implications of a long layoff like this? Do you feel like you have to study the game more? Does the break from the week in, week out action give you the mental space to sort of like zoom out and see how things are working a little more? You'd think it would, but I don't know if that's just me making something up.
Man, I bet nowadays, like these dudes, like the full internationals that are playing in all the biggest competitions and all that, I bet they low key in the back of their minds, like, man, this is a nice break.
Yeah.
I'm out 3 months. I'm chilling. I bet they come back body feeling great, everything. Now Kevin hasn't had that amount of mileage on him. I guess he got his first test of it this summer into fall and failed it, unfortunately. But
well, this might kind of speak to your confidence, because I was just thinking through, if that happened to me, I'd be paranoid about people coming in and stealing my job. I'm thinking maybe when I come back, I'm not going to be good anymore.
Well, that's what happened to Flo, isn't it? So there's two sides to the coin, but yeah, I don't know. That's just what popped up in my head. But yeah, there's definitely two sides to it.
To nod back to Easter again, what matters the most is how you redeem the time that you're off. If you get sucked in by the siren song of TikTok for the whole 3 months you're laid off, then what are you going to do? It's not going to help you at all. But if you can buckle down and learn, it could be good.
No, it's a fairly tenuous connection to Easter.
I just used the word redeem.
Okay. My question was, is Easter about redemption? I guess, is that what the redemption is? The resurrection?
Yeah. The redemption of humanity. Yeah.
That's why we celebrate.
We got 3 red cards this weekend. 3 big ones. Our players kind of towing that line between good and evil. Learning about the contours of it.
Sinning out there on the football pitch.
sinning, repenting. First one is Chris Richards, who, I mean, I don't think Mark's probably the most guilty of the three. So is Richards, McKenzie, and Diego Luna all got sent off over the weekend. I think Richards and Luna perhaps, falsely accused here. But Richards, he first one, he gets 2 yellows. The first one is he's out on an island against Waitara, the dangerous Bournemouth attacker. He touches it around him. He cooks him. I think that's pretty clear. Chris puts a forearm out, and Waitara goes down. I'm curious what you guys thought of this, because it seemed to me like, I don't know, borderline it was even a foul, but he definitely got a yellow.
You put the forearm out,
you're gonna get a yellow.
And if they run into the forearm, like one of those parking garage, I don't even know what you call those things, but
Yeah.
y'all know what I'm talking about. But yeah, if you run into that, what can you? I mean,
Okay.
can't complain.
So then he gets his second one right before the half. He tugs on Clavert's arm as he strides across midfield, just the slightest of tugs. I mean, 1/10 of a second. And Clavert goes down. That's 2 yellows. Richards is off. Palace gets a 0-0 draw against Bournemouth anyway. This was a proper English football match. Lots of whacking it around, back and forth, head tennis. I mean, some intensity, I guess, but not super easy on the eyes.
You tend to get those from time to time in England, but yeah, Bells, the second yellow, I don't know. That one was tough. He was trying to get back in the play. I think it was jumping over a dude at the
Yeah.
as he's trying to run back. You would have thought Clavert's arm was nailed to the cross or something.
What do you call those things at that parking garage?
Bro.
It was traffic arm. I don't know.
Oh,
The letter router.
The letter router. Well, I thought, it's an unfortunate way to get sent off. But anyway, Richards, I'm going to take it as a positive. He's getting familiar with that line between morality and immorality.
Okay.
He's learning the shape of it, and how to navigate that in real time. McKenzie also exploring this line against Reims. This is the toughest one of all of Ligue 1. It's the most difficult one.
Reims.
Yeah, there you go. He gets sent off for a dog, so gets handsy with an attacker who had a step on him going into the box. I mean, his hands were all over him, maybe even around the neck a little bit. But I don't know, center backs do get away with this sort of thing, and he didn't. Sent off, just straight red. Toulouse is in a little bit of trouble. They've lost 5 straight, and they're getting perilously close to the relegation line.
Yeah, I was about to say.
What's that?
Well, I was just about to say they haven't been good at all. I mean, the defense was holding it down for a long part of the season, but I mean, they've been giving up like 3 goals, 4 goals.
Yeah,
quite consistently, multiple goals.
Looking like that Norwich City defense out there.
The public has not turned on McKenzie, but they've in the forums they're saying, this stretch has been bad, and they've lost all confidence in our center back pool.
You know what? It has been bad, and it's our fault for believing in this. That's all I'm gonna say.
It was just too soon. We still believe. We peaked too soon on our belief coming fully above the surface. Let's submerge it.
Strong start to the season, but Mark McKenzie was always in there somewhere. It was always in there. But and I'm not saying he's fully reverted back to You know, when I used to get on here and laugh at him every week. But yeah, tough little stretch. Tough little stretch. We'll just leave it at that.
I do want to say I like those Toulouse jerseys a lot. I like that purple.
Yeah.
It's real nice.
They almost hit that lavender, a la Racing Louisville.
Yeah. Other like the Lakers, you know, on a once in a blue moon will wear their purple. And or I mean, I don't even know if they do it anymore. Maybe they don't. And Real Madrid has had a great purple jersey for a while there. Diego Luna. There's a few things to say about him, but first is that he got a red card, and this was a terrible call. I don't care what you guys say. Terrible call. Got tangled up with a guy who pulled him down in the box, and then he just kind of, you know, he had to jerk his leg to free himself. I didn't see a kick out or anything. I don't understand one bit, but he did take it like a man, just kind of looking up at the scoreboard, expressionless. So
The ref even got to look at it again.
I know.
That was Pablo Mastroeni's main complaint in the post game. You know,
Did he use any?
Obviously, if you've been called over to the board, a professional somewhere has said, "Hey, man, we think you got this wrong," and then he accused the referee of pridefulness.
Huh. I mean, I struggle to find another explanation for why he didn't reverse the call. What did Luna do? He didn't do anything.
Hey, yeah, I was gonna make a joke, but never mind. Just keep it going.
Pridefulness comes for the best of us, though.
Yeah, you have to learn. You have to learn about injustice a little bit sometimes, I guess.
But you also need to remember that it comes before the fall.
That's right. And
so
I don't know anything about Chris's or Diego Luna's spirituality, but Mark McKenzie, you know, and I talked to him in the mixed zone leaving the Panama match in Austin. You know, he had his Bible in tow, and so I'm just hoping it didn't ruin his Easter weekend. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Diego looks like he probably could be spiritual. I don't know if it's, you know, what type of higher power are we talking about, but
he's not religious, but he's spiritual.
Right.
Is what I would say with him.
Really? It seems like he would go to a mega church to me, but
I could see it. I could see it, but once again, I'm trying to get away. I'm trying to get everyone away from Diego Luna typecasting. Please.
Okay.
It happens a lot. It's a tough thing to fight because it's all positive when people do it. So it's hard to tell people, "Hey, stop doing that positive."
Yeah.
You know. But
you were doing some research on Sunnyvale, right? It's a pretty nice town, like where he grew up.
Well,
maybe we've already covered this. I can't remember.
There's just no. Okay, I'll put it this way: America loves a rags to riches story, and given that Diego's already kind of a soccer rags to riches story, from like, you know, coming from the USL, leaving the Earthquakes Academy, etc., and getting to where he's gotten now. The idea that if he was poor, that has not been publicized or written about, get out of here. You know, get out of here. If he was poor, we would all know. We would all know there would be a picture of like the shack that Diego Luna's family lived in that like Utah fans would post every time he scores a goal. You know, there's a type of thing. We're very sick people here. We love this type of stuff. So, and it hasn't been publicized yet. Also, I was just made aware of this like this past week. This man went to Barca residency, the one in Arizona. I know that thing. That still costs some money.
Yeah.
I don't think I scholarship.
He probably didn't have to pay for that.
Yeah, I would think that there's probably some scholarship, but I don't know that for sure. Speaking of typecasting, he met Canarian Diego Luna on a red carpet somewhere recently. That's the guy who plays Andor in the show Andor, which I don't think you're into, right, Vince? It's a Star Wars thing.
I haven't seen a single Star Wars movie.
Have you seen any of Andor, Chris?
I haven't.
Oh man, it's so good.
You haven't seen a single Star Wars movie?
No, sir. I haven't seen a lot of movies, to be honest with you. So, like I was just thinking about this. I went and watched Sinners last night, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, "Wow, that's a pretty good movie." But then also, before I tried to get into any type of film criticism bag or anything, I reminded myself, Vince, you have no frame of reference for any. Like I'm seeing people talk about other vampire movies that it was inspired by. Haven't seen a single one of them. So yeah, I don't know a thing about Andor, but shout out to the other Diego Luna.
It's kind of a dark, dystopian version of Star Wars. It's really I think quite good. Anyway, they met there, but who knows where it was? It was on a red carpet. We have an 8-second video of it. The metadata is collected by someone, but no one knows where it happened or when.
Oh, you know what?
Because time and space, they're gone now.
It was probably the film festival. They have a film festival in Utah every year, a pretty popular one. Don't they?
Oh, was it at the Sundance Festival?
Yeah, it was probably Sundance.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, thank you.
So Diego went to the Sundance Festival. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, it's like 20 minutes from Salt Lake, Park City is. Something like that.
The Sundance Film Festival.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize.
I don't know, y'all. It was from January to February 2nd. January 23rd, February 2nd.
Okay, so probably not that. Luna is listed by Transfer Market as being the 13th most valuable player in MLS at 8 million euros, making him the most valuable American in MLS. The only other one in the top 25 is Brandon Vasquez at 7.5 million euros. Let's take a break and come back in a second and talk about, a little bit on AC Milan. Gianluca Busio had a big day. John Tolkien is back in the 11 for Holstein Kiel. Chicago Fire lost at home. There's a few things to say about that. We'll be back in a second. We're back. The Chicago Fire lost at home to Cincinnati. I just got to say that they got a little bit jobbed. The ref tripped a Chicago Fire player in the build up to Cincinnati's first goal, launching a counterattack. And then it ended with a deflected goal. Game ended 3-2. But, none of it happens if the ref doesn't trip the player at the beginning. I'm doing a lot of complaining about refs on this episode, aren't I? He didn't do it on purpose, but he should have blown the whistle because it created the whole situation.
Well, Greg Berhalter's not making. He's not making any excuses.
He's not.
He's never seen that happen before. Is what he said. But the rest, they took responsibility for the rest of the game. And he also wasn't using an excuse. One of his central defenders went injured at the very beginning of the game. Because a reporter asked him, I wish I had the audio. I don't. He said, do you think injuries impacted the game? He said no. And then he lit a silent sit. 5 seconds. That's how you show you're not making excuses. He's not saying, I'm not making excuses. He's saying no, and then he's letting people watch him not make excuses.
Letting his yes be yes and his no be no.
That's when you got to read between the lines, baby. But so this Chicago Fire injury situation, it just won't stop. Chris, is that what's going on? Yeah. Understood.
And then Sam Rogers was subbing in for the injured center back. You're not gonna believe this. He had his warming up, puts his jersey over his warm up. His game jersey over his warm up. Berhalter has to come over to him and say, hey, we're not doing that. We're not doing that here.
He must have been so nervous. Poor Sam.
He just wasn't thinking.
Because he had
No,
kind of a rough.
I
he had
think
a rough
I don't think he
outing
was nervous.
too.
I think it was he thought it's a little chilly out here. Maybe I'd like to have this underlayer. Not considering that warm up shirts are for warm up, and it isn't done
Yeah,
to wear that under a game shirt. Thank
not.
God Berhalter saw it.
Yeah, it's not done. He
Can't be having a looking tacky out there, man.
he struggled out there. He nearly scored a banger of an own goal too. Hit the crossbar. Gutierrez scored a penalty. I want to say too that I think Pyongyang Chicago Fire is kind of letting us down. I went in search
What
of
is that?
inspiration, after educating myself about this game, and then basically the account's just squabbling with people on the timeline now.
That's
Just
the thing with a meme account. It's all fun. You're getting a thrill at the beginning. Do you have the stuff about you to keep doing it
Yeah.
for 3 months, 4 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years? And that's when someone.
Yeah.
Those are the people that set themselves apart. It was very, very hard to do.
It's tough to do, man. And the thing about it that's really throwing me off is, okay, yeah, he's doing a lot of squabbling. I just assigned a gender to Pyongyang Chicago Fire.
It's
I want
a
to do
guy.
that.
It's a guy. Yeah.
Probably. They are doing a lot of squabbling, but the squabbling ain't necessarily the issue. Well, yes, because some of it is just like on they're basically starting squabbles out of nowhere. Out of nowhere for no reason, just hitting people up.
Are they squabbling
like,
in
just-
Korean?
Just yes,
yes.
but
Okay, that's still good then.
Yeah, but
No,
it's
no, no,
one thing to
hold on.
squabble with tack. That's funny. Squabble away, or squabble with scuffed or whatever. But don't squabble with USMNTX and trade insults back and forth for
yeah,
hours and hours. Don't squabble with looking beyond.
I'm not sure. I haven't been reading it, so you guys have way more information than me. I think squabbling with USMNTX in Korean.
see, but the thing,
Great.
the thing for me is that now, whereas before that one, that put the account on the map for me is when he called tactical manager a goofy eye and just all different types. The now when I hit translate on the Google, I mean when I hit translate on the Twitter machine, right, and it translates to Korean for me and I can read it, it's like the person is not trying to be somebody from North Korea anymore. It's written too plainly in American English, and it's like when when it translates, it's just like a simple sentence that I can read. There's no real grammatical issues. There's no like how it goes from language to language when you translate. It's like, oh, I got to do a little bit of reading between the lines to figure out what's really going on here because the articles are different and pronouns.
I know what you mean.
But anyway, yeah. So I feel like they're losing their touch there, and that is what's getting me.
Okay.
That is what's getting me. And the thing about the squabbles is when you're looking for squabbles, you're not necessarily doing stuff creatively anymore. Like Chicago Fire Pyongyang, you gotta get back in your bag.
Get in the lab.
Yeah.
Shut out all the noise.
Like we need an AI photo of we need an AI photo of like I forgot what bro's name is, the North Korea supreme leader. We need him on the South Loop. Walking with a deep dish pizza in hand or something, bro.
That'd be great. Yeah. Wouldn't even be that hard to generate.
Nope.
John Tolkien's back on the field after being away for a little bit with a knock. He's, I guess, started 3 straight games, and he went the distance in a 1-1 draw at Leipzig. I would say he's better than Max Arfsten at left back. What do you think, Vince?
The Arfston line, man. What's up? Why Poch put this man? He'll be slandering this man for the rest of his career now, just because. But anyway, yes, better than Max Arfston at left back or left wing back. But yeah, John Tolkien was. I thought he was good in this match. I thought he was decent to good. Now, if you look at the foot mob, he got the man of the match and had an 8.0 on the match ratings. And so I'm not a big purveyor of the match ratings, but it's impossible to get away from it on Twitter. You know, we got these we got people now who just will copy and paste the foot mob stats onto a tweet and tweet it.
Are we sure these are even people doing this?
Yeah. There's definitely some people doing this. There's definitely some real people doing this, but
an AI would not do it. They would decide, no, this isn't
interesting.
This isn't good. They would know. This has been happening for
a long time. I'm messing around. I get it.
A long time.
Repent bells. But
I'll admit, when I see an 8 though on FootMob, I perk up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How could you know?
I see a 7, like, I don't know what does that mean? A 7, an 8,
an 8, and so I tuned into this match, and was it 8 worthy? No, I don't think the match was 8 worthy. But matter of fact, I think he's probably done like top. He's done better. He's done better stuff.
What did he do to get an 8? How did he fool the math?
He I think he won some duels, some ground duels where really it wasn't even him like mano a mano with somebody. It was him like coming in, knocking the ball off people as like a secondary type dude. And you get tackles for those, and you get a dual one. Anyway, we don't need to get into foot mob minutia, but anyway, like I said, the match was about a 7. I think he was good though. He was good.
I agree. I thought he had a giveaway in the opening minutes, but then was pretty clean the rest of the game. And he's just nice in combination. Good crosser of the ball. I thought pretty clampy on defense against a team that's in a Champions League spot and has everything to play for. RB Leipzig. They've got a 1-point lead on Freiburg right now in that 4th spot. Yeah, I just think, if Arfston, I mean, he didn't. I didn't see him get beat once.
No, I don't think he did.
And there was a really, really nice moment, which I would tend to clock with a lot of players, where he's the top guy on a corner kick, where they're defending their own box. Holstein is. He doesn't win. The ball gets kind of cleared. He doesn't win it, but he's right there in front of the box. It gets recycled back by Leipzig, and then the center back has it, and he sees that there's a person open on the right side where Tolkien is responsible for being, and Tolkien spots that he's going to play that ball to him very early in the sequence and just sprints over, gets there in time to head it away just as the ball arrives out on the wing. That's good. That's good alertness for a young fullback, wingback, whatever he is. Anyway, bring him in camp instead of Max Arfston next time, please, Mauricio Pochettino. Gianluca Busio.
Are you calling for Paredes to be in camp?
Yes, I think we should bring in Paredes, especially given how thin we are at wing, And I know he, I guess, technically played right wing back for Wolfsburg over the weekend, but he's getting in a lot of wide spots to just cut in an attack from that right side.
Mauricio's not boxing himself in with his thinking on this type of thing.
Definitely not.
We never talked last week about how he was riding that bike in his Instagram post. Mauricio, what was that post? I think it was a story. It might have just vanished from the internet, but
Yeah, I think it was an Instagram story, man.
his hips were really moving side to side. Who even sets up that shot? Did he go put that on a tripod and then go?
For the people that don't know what we're talking about, I
That
think this
includes
was
me, by the way.
okay. I think this was when Potch was in Fayetteville or whatever, visiting the Federation's future grounds or whatnot. So either they have a workout room there or in some type of hotel somewhere. Remember, it's in one of those little compounds, right? One of those urbanist places for rich people.
Mhm.
And I guess they have a workout room somewhere. And Potch is on an elliptical and he's watching TV, and the phone, his camera is set up behind him, and yeah, we get a nice view of Potch's posterior from this Instagram story.
It's
I
just a
don't know.
5-second
He's
shot of him.
going to work on the elliptical. In a very exaggerated way, like this is his first time on an elliptical, kind of. I don't know.
He's got a weird Instagram.
It's you know
So
what?
I'm not saying it's a problem. I have said it. It is a problem.
You've, in no uncertain
It's a
terms,
problem.
you have identified it as a problem.
No one wants to talk about it, though. They want to say, no, we got this great, cool coach now. He's not cool.
Oh man.
He's not cool at all. Greg Berhalter was cooler than him. Did you see? Berhalter looked amazing this past weekend. He had a hoodie and he just layers correctly. He's not Twelman layering.
He's not Twelman layering. That's key.
And I just think we took that for granted. Dude, Berhalter would never have posted this post.
Was Berhalter on Instagram?
Probably not.
No.
Seems like a bad place to be if I was him. Really, any social media.
He can't be on social. That's sad to think about. He can't be on social media.
No, it's not sad. It's good. It's good for him. It's sad that the rest of us are on it.
I was watching his press conference from this weekend, or maybe it was the weekend before. And there's commenters who come into it and just say, "Hey, just here to say I hate Berhalter, and I don't think he should actually have a job anywhere right now." And
in America,
that's it.
Well, how did that happen? How did that happen? Where it got to that point? What is even reality?
It happened because his people were upset about Kuva, and then his brother was worked for the Fed.
Yeah, and they drew it out very dramatically. I guess. I mean, it's a lot of things coming together. I was actually thinking about this the other day. It's like when I was a casual, like we throw around casual a lot, but like, I mean, before I really got into soccer, I mean, I was, casual World Cup, and I would read some stuff that comes on the bottom of like the ESPN ticker. And I remember, so what was the how did it go? We went from Bruce okay.
Bruce Sarakin was in a room.
No. Before Jurgen, who was coach?
It was
Bradley,
then Klinsmann for a long time.
Right. And then we went
Bruce. Yeah.
Okay.
Sarakin, Berhalter.
I think that's what it was. When we hired Bruce Arena back, I remember having a reaction to this. As a casual, even we got rid of Jurgen Klinsmann. But first of all, we talked about this a few months ago. We brought in Jurgen, and it's like, okay, now this is like phase 5 of the U.S. soccer program. We're kicking this thing up a notch. We're going. And Jurgen comes through, does whatever, gets let go. And then when I heard we were hiring Bruce Arena to be our coach once again, I was like, what the hell is this, man? These people aren't serious. And now imagine failing to get to a World Cup and then drawing this process out very, very long. And then also once again, people love a scandal. And when you got this whole Jay Berhalter situation, and everyone knew that Greg was basically going to be the coach, and we just had to, and the Jay Berhalter stuff just it festered and festered and festered. I, I can see it. I can see
a lot of this is that in following sports, there's not a whole lot to do other than dislike the coach, because it's not interesting to talk about how much you like the Greg Berhalter.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it is. You've made it pretty interesting, Chris.
I had to really commit, though.
Yeah.
You got to, and it hasn't. It's taken a lot out of me. You know.
I know. I know. The point is though, I mean, yeah, I forget what my point was going to be. Apologies.
My point was we got to get rid of Pochettino. It's got to go.
That's not happening.
Bro, I was I don't know if y'all have watched the Copa 90 Argentina World Cup.
I told you I was gonna. I still haven't
Series
done
yet.
it though.
Okay. Well, the one thing it's done for me is it's taught me a lot about Argentinians and just the Argentine culture. There was even a quote from this one dude. It's like a old man. He basically said, here in Argentina, if you do things by the book, people think you're an idiot. And I just really put Poch in the frame for me. And so we just got to deal with a little bit of the eccentricities, you know what I'm saying? He films himself riding an elliptical from the back and posts it. You just gonna have
I wonder if it's maybe it's xenophobia on my part. Maybe I need to examine myself.
That's an interesting quote though. If you do things by the book, people think you're an idiot.
That's right. That's what he said.
Huh.
So I encourage everyone to go check it out. It's great. It's like 2 hours. You know, they were on location in Argentina as they went through the World Cup and won it, etc. Ellie Minjam, probably one of the world's great anthropologists.
Yeah, the Copa 90 guy.
Yeah.
When I was in college, I thought people who did stuff by the book were idiots too, but then they all started getting good jobs after we graduated from college, you know? And me and my friends were a little slower to get to that. Anyway, no one would mistake me for an Argentinian. Paxton Aronson.
I mean, I think a lot of people would. If you had a shirt on, anyway,
a little better haircut.
No, you have a good Argentinian haircut right now.
Actually,
I
do.
You look just like Alexis McAllister, bro.
Yeah,
that's true. I do. They all look a little older than their age, though. You know, they all look like they've kind of been through a lot. Even Alexis McAllister.
Okay, it's another thing I learned. That's because they purposely put themselves through a lot. As far as like they just make sure they feel every emotion. Like in that, there's an episode when they play that the France match. No, the World Cup match, right? The World Cup final. Argentina's up, they're cruising, right, for like 75 minutes of that match. And everyone's like partying. Okay. They have like cameras in different spots. And then once France starts coming back, like the Argentinian people, they immediately basically start getting ready for a riot. You know what I'm saying? Like the switch just like it's like flips immediately.
Like inside the establishment, the people working.
No, I'm talking about like the people. Like the people are like, hey, we're about to win. We about to party. Like let's go. And then like France don't even take the lead. They just tie the game up. And all of a sudden they're like they're on their hands and knees. They're praying. They saw this one dude on the streets at and people were just watching the game on the streets, right? And it was a friendly affair at first, but now since the game had been tied and everybody's tense, somebody had pulled a gun out on somebody else.
Mm.
Like it was just they go from 0 to 100
And then back to
just on
0 again.
yeah on the drop of a dime.
Hmm.
And this is another thing, like Argentinians, they expect for you to show your emotions in that manner. Like that's just part of being an Argentine.
Interesting. Tanner scored a slick little goal in a losing effort for Leon. This was nice, man. He gets the ball in just inside the box, kind of rolls it with the sole of his left foot onto his right foot. Has a shot, gets helped by a little deflection up into
Yeah.
the near corner, but still a nice goal from him. He grabs the ball and hustles back to midfield, tries to get to business on the equalizer, but they couldn't get it done. Lost 2-1 to Saint Etienne.
Yeah, it's a big loss for Lyon. Monaco and Strasbourg had drawn, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure, and Lille won. And so they had an opportunity to gain points on Monaco, opportunity to keep pace and stay in front of Lille. I think they're in front of them by 1 point. Anyway, so now Lyon sits in sixth in Liga, I want to say. And yeah, Saint Etienne match they probably should have won on paper, didn't. The midweek tie is bring the midweek tie maybe carried over a little bit. Now, let's talk about that midweek tie real quick. I just want to talk about this
because Tanner came in off the bench against Manchester United, right?
That's right. The Tan Man in Old Trafford. First of all, beautiful sight to see. And he did his thing. He did pretty well. He came in, Lyon down 2-0. They tied the match up. They took the lead, was up 4 we're up 4-2. And Manchester United ended up winning the match 5-4. It was none of the Manchester United goals Tanner's fault. But when he came on the pitch, he did help Lyon gain control of the match, and he kind of changed the game a little bit for him. That's all I'm gonna say.
You posted that nice clip of him progressing the ball all the way up the field.
Yeah,
he looked real good in that moment.
Yeah,
for sure.
I was watching it back today, grabbing some clips for clip notes. The good thing about it is that it starts with him winning the ball off of. I'm pretty sure that was Garnacho. Winning the ball off of Garnacho in like a, Manchester United tries the wide overload. Somebody overlaps Garnacho. The key here, Tanner Tessman sees the danger. Not even really the danger. It's just he's now getting himself in the correct defensive positions to make plays. Right.
Okay.
We got a fullback overlapping Garnacho. There's just one fullback out there for Lyon. Tanner makes his way over. The fullback and him navigate the overlap situation well. Fullback takes the overlapper. Garnacho cuts inside. Tanner takes it right off of him, and then he's gone. Carries it a little bit. A little faint, like he's going to pass it a little bit earlier than he did. Keeps it going. Passes it out wide, gets it back. Turn out to Turkey. Turkey gets fouled. Beautiful stuff from Dan Tessman.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dabo. We all proud of Tanner, man, for what's going on right now. I'm loving what I'm seeing. With that being said, he wasn't that good against Saint Etienne. I thought he was well, for sure, one of his rougher matches, I would say. But the goal was very nice.
Okay. All right. So we took a little abuse last week from Dan Vaughn for talking about Josh Sargent so much.
Mm-hmm.
How you feel about that, Vince?
Look, Dan just had to blow off some steam. and he gave he gave the disclaimer before he got started. And like he said, he was like, "I'm here now, damn it! So I'm just gonna do it." And he let it rip. Now, do I have some? I'm not gonna say issues, but do I have some rebuttals to some of the things he said? Of course. But hey, he got his issue off, man. He needed that.
He
Dan
did.
needed
He
that.
did.
He probably
did.
slept like a baby after that pod, man. He's like, man, ain't nobody heard about damn Rico Pepe. It's like, like what else would you do for somebody from your hometown? You know what I'm saying?
Except
so-
accuse the entire fan base of being racist. I know it's totally relatable. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing around.
he had a shot. He took it, baby.
Yep. Sargent did score a kind of pedestrian goal in Norwich's 5-3 loss to Portsmouth. They lost 3-1 earlier today against who I can't remember, but they're pretty much out of this promotion hunt now, and that's all I got to say about Josh.
Norwich has left their yo-yo phase. They're just a mid-table championship team now.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
And we needed that. We needed them to be a yo-yo team to keep the hope and be okay with Josh playing in the championship.
Right.
It's not enough anymore.
You wonder if they, if he scores 15 goals for them or whatever it is, and they end up being a mid-table championship side, does that attract Premier League interest? I don't think so. Does it?
What you talking about for Josh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he'll be fine.
Okay.
I think so. I think he'll be good. He'll be good to go. I think while we're in the championship, I think Leeds secured promotion today.
Did they?
I think so. I mean, there was a whole slate of games today. The games are over. Leeds won. 44 matches out of 46 played, and they are 8 points above third place Sheffield United. So yeah, promotion.
Brendo back.
That's right, baby.
Here we go.
Promotion has been won. Leeds beat Stoke City 6-0.
Yeah, I saw Pirro had like a first half hat trick or something.
Brendo not on the score sheet.
I guess we've probably talked about it enough. There's a lot of people defending his stats. You get down to that internet. A lot of chance creation. Although I think Bob Morocco came in and said it wasn't that good. I wait to see what Bob Morocco said.
Look, I don't know. I just feel like you got to watch Leeds and watch them play and how they basically play around Brendan's presence. And that's basically all you need to see. He's just in there. He's like I said before, he's like a second striker. He's just in there in the box a lot, running around, pressing and stuff. And, Leeds is a good side. The people that they are passing to that are not Brendan get it done. And the ball ends up falling to Brendan and he scores a goal. That's cool. But I do have to say, that's just not what I was expecting from Brendan this season. And it's unfortunate for me. I was hoping for something bigger and better than this. And the numbers are there, whatever. Understood. But that's not what I wanted to see.
He's must be the type of player that Poch is going to bring in to get a little more, fight and fire, a little feistiness. Missing.
I don't know, man.
He may not be right. You don't know that he'll do it, or you doubt that it's a good idea?
I doubt that he'll do it, just because it seems like Wenger is off the table for Brendan based on the players that Poch mentioned when asked by of course Jonathan Tannenwald why Brendan wasn't there. He named Diego Luna, Weston McKennie, Gio Reyna, etc. Now Gio may be out. We'll see. I'll say this: if Gio's out, I bet Brendan's in.
Well, we'll have to see if Gio goes with Dortmund to the Club World Cup. Hopefully not.
Right.
Speaking of which, I mean, there's a little bit of a transfer rumor here. I'll read it. MLS Transfers on Twitter is reporting LAFC and Rangers are interested in Gio. That'd be Rangers as in Scottish league. He has interest from other Bundesliga clubs but wants to leave Germany. How would you guys feel about him coming back to LAFC?
I think he's correct to want to leave Germany, first of all.
Yeah. I saw Charlie Davies say he should go to Ajax, something we've said on this podcast before. Ajax makes sense.
Yo, well, go ahead.
Well, because even though they have, it seems like that's a place where he could play, they have high standards. It's not guaranteed he would play, especially if he continues to play at 35%.
Rangers is kind of sitting right with me.
Really?
I wouldn't be mad at it.
I mean, the truth is we just want him to go somewhere where he actually plays.
Now, this is another thing that Charlie Davies said. I'm going to be clear. Charlie Davies said this. Okay, I'm just relaying the information. But Charlie Davies said that he talked to some of the players on the national team and that Gio has been, the consummate professional, been great in camps ever since the issue or whatever, but that he's lost his edge.
He's gotten married too, right? He's
married now?
I believe so.
I don't think he's gotten married. He
might be just like an extended engagement.
No, but to be clear, you were saying the marriage caused his losing his edge.
I think it can happen.
That's what Bells. That is what you said, bro. Which
he did say that. So Charlie was saying his national team players are saying he's lost his edge. I mean, obviously he's lost his edge. But this isn't a secret.
He's definitely lost his edge. I mean, it's true. The question is why.
I don't know if I would have been on the fact that like he's definitely been on the side that he's definitely lost his edge, but like I can see why y'all have said it. Well, why y'all are saying it, but Gio's edge was just such a defining characteristic, of his game, of his personality, and all this, and it's pretty crazy.
Another thing to consider is the Charlie Davies' way of talking. He could have just had a conversation with whoever and he'd be like, Gio hasn't been, he wasn't that great. And they could have just like, he hasn't been quite. And then he turned into he lost his edge.
This is why I made sure to specify who said it. Okay. I made sure to specify who said it. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. But yeah, that would be sad to see. And it just goes back to, I don't know what we were talking about last week about just the scenarios for Gio going forward and his mental state, and also just if what Charlie said is true, it almost makes me wonder if he was playing ball for Claudio, not himself. You know how these things go, and we've seen it before with parents that act the exact same way that Claudio has been acting. That they live vicariously through their sons, and once they're older, they might make different decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I really at this point, I'm tired of psychoanalyzing Gio. I just hope that man can show up at a different club and play some ball, and I don't gotta worry about all this. On the Discord this week, somebody was like, Kelly, let me shout out Kelly on the Discord, was saying that we should do attitude checks for all USMNT players. And my response was, when you're not doing the tangibles, we got to dig into the intangibles, especially when you're a talented somebody. And Gio, get back to doing something tangible, so we don't got to talk about this shit, man.
Yeah, agreed.
He wasn't supposed to drag
maybe we
out
should do an attitude check on every player, though. That could be
episode idea.
an episode. I don't know if that would be a very good episode, though. It's okay. We can do a bad episode.
No.
Hey, all of them can't be good.
I want to say we should talk about Busio real quick, and then we should start heading for the exit. But a drama-packed day for him. He slipped, fell on the sideline in the build-up to Empoli's first goal. That was a really nice goal. The way it got bent into out or out to in, and then the guy caught it on the volley. Look it up if you get a chance, dear listener, because the way the guy catches that volley as it's traveling towards the goal and then helping it along in the direction of the goal, just a real clean strike. I mean, borderline impossible technique to do that. And then, so that's a little bit on Busio, but then he got the go-ahead goal in the 85th minute, pouncing on a loose ball in a counterattack, a little bit like Landon Donovan versus Algeria. Gets there first. You love to see that fast twitch explosion to get there first, and then he hurdles over the goalkeeper who's prostrate before him. And you think, oh man, Venezia is going to get a win here, but then they concede again late. A pretty nice goal actually from Empoli. So there you go. He also had a really nice half turn and through ball in the build up to a shot that drew a good save early in the game. Slide rule stuff, and then he that's it. He had a couple other nice moments, but mostly, he's just out there putting in a shift.
Yep. And it's a shame. I mean, this is as much of a 6-pointer as it could get. Empoli and Venezia both fighting to get out of the relegation zone. There can only be one. There can be two. They can be two. But Empoli, Venezia tied on points going into this match, both on 24. Lecce right above them. Outside of the relegation zone, 2 points in front of them with 26 points. And whoever won this, or if there was a winner, you're safe. You're safe, at least for a week.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. And now Venezia has Milan, Torino, Fiorentina, Cagliari, and Juve for their final 5 games of the season. So I don't know. It's looking pretty tight for Venezia. If they couldn't get this win here, unfortunately, it seems like the die is cast.
Yeah, get ready to have a cappuccino with Christopher Lund, Gianluca.
with Christopher Lund. So whereas Empoli has they still got Parma to play and Monza. Ooh. Yeah. Empoli might make it. Monza is dead last in Serie A with 15 points. So, okay. I mean, they're far and away the worst team. And Parma has 28 points currently. After the draw, both teams are on 25. Lecce still with 26. They lost this weekend. Parma 28. And so Empoli actually has a pretty favorable schedule. Venezia absolutely does not.
I noticed Como is way up in the middle of the table now, too. So good for them.
Hey, they've been a respectable team, man. Every time I watch them, like whether it's Juve playing them, Milan playing them, whatever, they're pretty good. They get out there, they go hard, extremely hard. They scrap. They got good athletes out there. It's a tough team.
And I guess Cesc got his coach's license, because now he's the real coach. All right, so a few other little notes. Damian Downs scored an FC Cologne win. Brandon Vasquez got a game winner for Austin, just a poacher's goal. Steve Cherundolo is leaving MLS to return to Germany at the end of the season. It's kind of interesting.
Right. That's right.
Quinn Sullivan had a goal and assist versus Atlanta. Nice. The assist was a nice cross. The goal was a nice take it down off the chest and volley it in. Ben Kromoski had a diving header for the game's only goal in a 1-0 win at Columbus for Inter Miami. Patrick Ajimong scored a penalty. Jesse Marsh is suspended for Canada's first 2 games of the Gold Cup.
Jesse gonna come out and tell us that he received 50 text messages.
I'm sure he did
when it was announced that he got suspended. You know how he does. But despicable behavior from him. Anyway, if you want to go check that out, by the way, I got it. It's on demand if you pay for the Patreon. Clip notes, $5 tier or above. We have the entire tape of Jesse Marsh getting thrown out of that third place match. Man getting thrown out of. This is how you know he was too ready for this damn. First of all, he got Alphonso Davies to play. Did we talk about this?
No.
The Alphonso Davies camp is like
we did. I think we did, but
yeah, we might have. But anyway,
I wasn't here. I was.
It was when Chris was in San Antonio.
Right. Jesse's so damn amped up. He done got Alfonso out there. He's playing with Alfonso's career to beat the U.S. in the third place game and got tossed out of the match.
And CONCACAF said, we're going to give you a 2-match ban and make sure you don't let it happen again because the consequences are going to be worse the next time.
He can't help it, man. He can't help it. But
by the way, one other thing, I have a little bit of a take here, which maybe is controversial. Okay. So Poch was in England watching Caleb Wiley at Watford.
Mm-hmm.
I love Caleb Wiley like I love every young American player. I feel like almost a special affinity for him because I know his dad has a pizza place down in Atlanta. I'm not buying like Caleb Wiley hype lately. Like even watching the clip notes. This dude is a replacement level fullback right now in the championship. We got people doing too much in the Discord server talking about how he's like putting on some kind of special level of performance.
The bars are green, Bells. Did you hear?
Come on, man.
The bars are green, man. Oh,
I mean, he may have an instinct for combination, but the instinct is not.
He does have pretty good instinct for combination.
He's got the instinct, but it's
nice
not
off
clean.
Ball movement.
Yeah. Old Bells would have loved instinct for combination. Off ball
movement. Come on, man. You letting the Argentinian side come out a little.
He he got beat. He got left for dead in the corner down there by that I don't know, that white jersey team they played against and
Burnley.
Yeah.
Burnley. Are you talking about this week?
Last week.
No, I don't know. They played last week. They played Burnley this week.
Yeah. I didn't catch his minutes this week, so maybe it was something totally different. But I mean, watching him at Strasbourg and from what I've seen at Watford, he's a solid professional fullback.
Who Poch has now seen play, so he will be in camp.
Right.
I would probably go a little bit. I don't know. I feel like you'd be a little too harsh on my boy. And Caleb Wiley got a special place in my heart for number one, being the first USMNTer I've interviewed, and number two, he was just an absolute mensch in the setup to that interview. I mean, we had to get the lobby quiet at this hotel. He sat with us for 15 minutes.
Okay, I take it all back. He's the best left back in the pool.
He sat with us. I mean, we're just chilling. We were like, we're like, Caleb, we're really sorry, but he was just like, no, it's no problem, and gave us a great interview after that. Anyway, if I will criticize him, I would say the handshake was a little bit limp. I tried to dap him up, but anyway, love you, Caleb.
I took Ballo a little underwhelming as well.
Ballo's underwhelming. That's a shame.
I shouldn't throw him under the bus like that But yeah.
Web to web, boys. Put the web to the other guy's web. Press hard.
Well,
that was a great handshake. Greg Berhalter.
I was about to say
Almost knocks you over.
It's
It's too much.
He won't let you know he was there, baby.
It's
I'm
an
here.
attack.
Don't you release no video while you're sitting here watching the first 15 minutes of training. I'm coming back to you. So this match against Burnley, Caleb Wiley was at the scene for both Burnley goals. He was at the scene of the crime. The first one was a striker running in between the space between the left center back and the left back. Perfect cross basically came into him. He headed it home. Caleb realized when the cross was coming in, basically, that the center back that's really supposed to be marking him had kind of lost track of where he is. Caleb tried to come over, but he would have had to get all the way over across the striker's body to get to the ball first, And he made a valiant effort, but unfortunately, ball went in the back of the net. And then the second one, I forgot what happened, but
That's okay.
listener, you can pull up the clip notes.
It'll all be there.
Scuff patron, $5 tier or higher. Also, just real quick before we leave, I'm happy you brought up Caleb because I was going to bring him up regardless if you try to get us out of here or not, Bells. I was going to bring that man up, but Ballo played. He got some minutes in Monaco's match against Strasbourg that I talked about briefly earlier. Ended in a draw, but he had a very good chance. Well, not a very good. It was probably lower on XG, but a nice headed chance that he got on frame, and Georgi Petrovic tipped it over the bar.
Okay. Hey, that reminds me of one other thing, which is P-Fox scored in that game between
for Reims
versus Toulouse, and it was just a great header, like across from way far out wide left. P-Fox is like 10 yards from goal, and he just sort of nods it, looping into the far corner. Man can score with his head.
Yeah, and I think Poch, he might sniff around. He's shown he's not afraid of a I don't know what somebody would call a one-dimensional striker or whatever. Because at this point, it's almost like a lot of strikers really have not as many dimensions as people be acting like.
Yeah.
Even the ones that I think Josh Sargent's a little bit better on the ball than most, but a lot of the ones that people say are like great at hold up play is like, they're really not.
Even Sargent is like, he's better than the other options that hold up play, maybe aside from Balogun, but he's not like amazing at it. What is Poch? I mean, we got to just imagine Poch is just in an onboarding period still.
Yeah.
He's still filling out forms in HR.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned. Otherwise, what are we doing?
I mean, I don't think I thought that it was going to be this way initially, but yeah, the quote from the old Argentinian man just summed it up for me. Like the book that was the book that Greg Berhalter left behind. Poch was never going to do things by that book, and so we're sitting here waiting for him to write his own chapter in it, and it just is what it is. But it was nice seeing Flo back playing soccer. It's nice seeing him. He's running in behind, doing all type of Balogun stuff. So.
I grabbed a nice little clip from last weekend of him doing a back heel in his own defensive third to get out of trouble. It's real nice. So yeah, he's coming. He's coming. All right. Hey, we're gonna be in Nashville, all three of us, and Sanjay. We're we got some details to work out on that front, but
are we doing there'll be a tailgate?
Yeah, maybe some kind of
gotta be
muted. Well, yeah.
No.
Muted.
Gotta
muted.
be.
We're turning up.
That's right, baby. On a Tuesday.
Let's go.
We can't turn up on a Tuesday. We just need to bring that. We bring that. turned up energy.
No, it'll be
That's right, baby.
whatever it is. It'll be fantastic. And
Look, y'all. Bells is downplaying it. Get yourself to Nashville, June 10th. Probably about 4 p.m. local time. All right. If you want to meet the Monday review,
I think we I need to go harder than 4 p.m. We need
12 p.m. local time.
Yeah.
Let's after we
I
drunkenly interview.
I want Bells to not make it into the game.
I do not want that. I mean, if we're gonna try to interview Pulisic that week, yeah, it's gonna be a total rager starting at 10 a.m. on Tuesday in Nashville at that empty parking lot, just across the street from the park that's right next to the field. Be there, be square. Be there, be square.
That's right, baby. That's right, baby. Come on, man.
Thank you for your patronage. Have a great week. We'll see you.